Okay. All right. How are you guys? It's just taking me a little while to get started here. I'm a little bit disorganized. I was telling my husband I didn't finish the slides until 7:59, so I'll probably see a bunch of typos in them. But I wanted to talk to you guys about expanding your network tonight, just because I feel like that is probably, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. One of the toughest things that once you get to Emerald, you kind of like need that cold market to further or get your business further than just Emerald. And sometimes that's tough if you don't already know a lot about social media, if you don't have a built-in social media presence. But first, before I get to that, I'm going to just go over some team updates. The health bet, I think it got a lot of people engaged. I think people are checking in and logging their stuff. But the consensus I'm getting is that the flow and just the personal connection is kind of missing. So that's kind of why we decided to do the new group on Facebook, just because I think that people connect so much better and more effectively through the Facebook group. Not to say I wouldn't do a My Challenge Tracker group again, but I think I would really have to tweak the assignments. I would want the group to be much smaller. So, I mean, I don't know if you guys have thoughts on that. Feel free to type them into the chat bar. We can kind of talk about that at the end, just because, there really is no ideal way of doing it. What I do like about the health bet, as coaches, we can see exactly who's logging in and if they're doing their workouts and drinking their shakes. So it's much easier to hold people actually accountable to their goals. I think that it'll be interesting to see if people will, our challengers will actually see if they got better results with the health bet. So, you kind of have to weigh it. If you're doing it as entirely just a means to get results, the health bet might be, or the My Challenge Tracker app might be the way to go. We all I think because we're coaches, we love the camaraderie and the personal connection of the Facebook groups. But, maybe that's not what our challengers are after as much as the results. So we kind of have to think of that both ways. So we can talk more about that at the end. Also, the Destin Sneak Peek group. You guys, this is our sneak peek into coaching that starts next Monday. Lucy and Donna and Nicole and I will all be in Destin at the Diamond Retreat, and I'm super excited. I got my suitcase out today. But just because you are not going along does not mean you shouldn't invite to this group. I do want you to invite to this group. This is your team. You might not physically be there, but I want you to be on that sneak peek just for your own personal interest. Hopefully you're interested in seeing what we're doing and you'll come along on the Diamond Retreat next year. But also invite your challengers. This is a great way to get them, thinking along the lines of what coaches do. We work hard for what we do, and this is kind of our little reward. We get to hang out in this great place, fantastic beach. But more than that, it's going to be, about coming together, team building, talking about ways to build our business and things like that. So I hope you guys join the sneak peek and invite tons of people to do it. This weekend is a good time to do that. We're going to start posting it on Monday. I've kind of started a little bit already, but we won't really hit it heavy until next week. Our actual retreat dates are next Thursday, the 29th through October 2nd, I believe, whatever that Sunday is. So our next 30-day group starts on October 3rd. So that is what is that, 3 weeks, 2 weeks from now, 2.5 weeks? Just so you guys know, I haven't started a file in our file section yet, but that is the target date. And that's when the health bet is over. So if you aren't engaging with your challengers that are in the health bet, you have to keep up with them, making sure that they're staying on track, making sure that if they have questions, that you're there to help them, because ultimately we want them to continue on their health and fitness journey and get them into that next group that starts October 3rd. Again, I'll probably do a Facebook group with that. We'll probably divide it in two because I think our groups are getting way too big. It's partly my fault. I have a lot of challengers that come out of the woodwork at the very last minute saying that they want to be in a group. And I'm not very good at preparing for them. So I think I will probably start doing more of my own groups and helping you guys with yours, just so that you can build those relationships outside of my groups. Also, I'm going to be doing a 10-day group in October. Is kind of like I'm not going to call it a free group. I'm calling this a customer appreciation group. It's based on The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin. I love that book. I actually had the pleasure of meeting Gretchen about 6 years ago a couple times when I was a mommy blogger. She went to a couple conferences that I attended. I'm sure she doesn't remember me, but of course she made an impact on me. So I've got a template that I'm going to be using for that. Feel free to do the same thing. What I'm going to do is open that group up to anybody who has made a purchase in September or later. So if it's October and they still want to join, all they have to do is make any purchase. It could be something as small as like a $9.99 DVD. I don't really even care what it is, as long as they have a purchase on the books. And, part of that is, hopefully building volume for our team. I hope to add volume for you guys. And, hopefully that will get you guys into getting more people into our groups that, maybe are hesitant to get Shakeology. Maybe they just want the program or something like that. This is an opportunity for them to actually join a group and see what they're all like. So in the meantime, I have created a Facebook events page for that. And once it gets a little bit closer to the start date, I will start breadcrumbing a little bit in that group and kind of giving them a little bit of what our groups are about, what they can expect in the group, and, just kind of giving them little reminders that, yeah, our event is starting. And I don't have the date in front of me, but I believe it's mid-October. So I would encourage you, if that's something that you would like to do as well, start your event page or get that set up as soon as you can. You can do an event either through your personal Facebook profile or a like page if you have one. So and you can have it co-hosted. Like when I set this group up, I have my business page and my personal page, and I have my Mommy Savers, which is my frugal living blog, attached to that too. So that's another upcoming group. Also, Core to Force is the new program that's coming out in November. That's the Lowell and Jericho workout that is coming out. It looks really, really fun. It's inspired by mixed martial arts, but it also really focuses on the core. Obviously, that's the name of it, core. So I think all those people that want to burn belly fat, not that you can target fat burning, but I mean, obviously the midsection is a huge area, huge trouble spot for a lot of people. So that's kind of how I'm going to be promoting it. I also might do like a little free group leading up to that about like burn the belly fat. I did one of those a couple months ago, and it was a big success. And what I did with that, it was a BOD group. Like I picked a BOD workout every day that targeted like the core and the abs, and we just did those workouts. So the only thing that was required to be in that group was Beachbody On Demand, or BOD as we call it. So be thinking about that. Again, you might want to set up an event page. You might want to run like a free group leading up into Core to Force. I believe it comes out, I know it comes out in November. I don't have the actual date. There are already before and after pics out there from the test group. There's an email collector set up, and if you guys don't know what that is, it's in your Coach online office. All you have to do is plug in your Coach ID, and that way anyone who signs up for more information about Core to Force, as long as they don't have a coach already and they end up making a purchase, you will get credit for it. Also, another important date to note is there is a sneak peek on Beachbody On Demand on October 3rd. So another great thing. I can't wait for that one. So anyway, okay. I don't have the chat open, so I'm just going to wait until the end to see if you guys have questions. But again, please type them in there. And I'm going to kind of get to the meat of our call right now. So, but before that, I got to recognize you guys who are already on the board with Success Club. And this month is flying by. I can't believe it's the 22nd already. I don't know where this month has gone, but congrats to Nicole and Stacy. They're already they've already achieved Success Club. We have a bunch of you that are on the board, so don't leave those points behind. Make sure you hit at least Success Club 5 or beyond. I mean, I kind of consider like Success Club 5 is like the bare minimum, but if you really want to be a business builder, you should aim for Success Club 10 or beyond every month. Like Success Club 10 is always my goal. I'll be honest, like Success Club 20 is always my goal too, but this is my full-time job. So let your goals be in line with how you want to run your business. If you're a hobby coach, I'd say Success Club 5 is good. If you're a business builder, go for Success Club 10. That will propel you along the path of getting where you want to be a lot faster. I did post something in our group as well about earning $1,700, you guys, between now and the end of the year. And think about it as your Christmas fund. I mean, that for me, that would cover just about everything that we do at Christmas time. All you have to do to earn that is Success Club 8, September, October, November, December, and then keep all those customers on Shakeology. And if you crunch the numbers, do the math, it ends up being $1,700, you guys. So that, if you think of it in terms of do this not only to help other people with their health and fitness goals, but it helps you and it helps it, pad your Christmas budget, which, is not always easy to cover those expenses. Okay, so now we're going to get into the meat of the call, and it's all about attraction marketing and expanding your market and finding people that you don't know. And when I started as a coach, I went into my cold market right away. I was one that did not want to approach my friends and family with anything having to do with Beachbody. I wanted to keep it entirely separate. And those are for personal reasons. I don't have anything against those of you who go into your warm market right away. I probably should have done that just to learn and, to kind of get my feet wet. But I was already pretty experienced in social media, so that was the avenue that I chose. And I want you to really think about this. I did a call on this a couple weeks ago. If you haven't listened to the playback or if you weren't on it, it was all about defining your niche and finding your way as a coach and really being true to yourself. And I want you guys to really think about what would your ideal challenge group look like? What would your ideal team look like? Say you had a challenge group of 10 people and what would they look like in your ideal world? And then all of a sudden, say those 10 people converted to coaches on your team. What would you want them to have in common? And chances are it would be things that you would have in common with them. I've attracted a lot of people in my age demographic simply because they don't want a younger coach. They want someone over 40, which was something that I thought that would work to my detriment when I first started. It ended up being the biggest blessing because I found that people do want older coaches. So you get to decide, and that's what the cool thing about this is. You will attract what you put out there. If you don't talk about those things, though, people won't know those things about you. So really think about who you want to attract and put that vibe out there. I would suggest picking 3 to 5 things that you love or are interested in. So for me, they kind of vary depending on what I'm interested in. I talk about running because I'm a runner. So I have attracted a lot of runners to my page. I talk about being over 40, so I do tend to, attract people of that demographic. I've also had people say that they like that I'm real and I don't talk about being perfect or sticking to a program 100%, because I also talk about all my cheat meals and all these things that make me kind of imperfect. So that's a huge thing too. So think about that. What are the 3 to 5 things that you love and are interested in? So where do you find these people? Oh, and look, my picture isn't working. So anyway, I'm going to have to improvise here because it looks like I didn't get this download quite right. So I find most of my people on Facebook, Pinterest, and then through my blog. But I don't want you guys to overwhelm yourselves with too many social media platforms. You have to pick something that you enjoy, but you also, more importantly than that, I don't want you to focus on too many things at once, because if you can't stay consistent with posting, it will backfire. People will see that you're not keeping up with it. They may not trust you as a coach because they see you flaking out. So whatever it is, make sure that whatever it is, you're consistent with it. It doesn't have to be 3 to 5 posts a day. Like, I don't do 3 to 5 blog posts a day, but I do make sure that when people go to my blog, it's current information. It's not like I haven't updated it for a month. I always make sure I have at least 1 or 2 new blog posts every week. Sometimes it's more than that. You know, same thing on Instagram. I don't post 3 to 5 times a day there, but I do post at least probably once a day, sometimes twice a day. So just make sure whatever you choose that you're consistent. So Facebook, I think, is that first bullet point that is whited out there. But another trick too is ask for referrals from your current challengers and friends, and don't be afraid to ask. You know, sorry, I was getting some feedback. You guys, if you're not muted, could you mute yourself? Okay, and one thing to think about with social media is you're not in the business of selling. You're in the business of being social and getting to know people. So you have to be social on social media. I know it sounds very, very obvious here, but I think too many people go into either blogging or a Facebook like page or Instagram thinking all I have to do is post. No, that is just half of the equation. You have to interact, you have to like, you have to comment, you have to get to know people, and that takes work. So you can post, yeah, that's great, but you also have to do the other half, which is engagement. And by that, I mean liking and commenting, asking questions, leaving comments that provide value, not just, hey, great post, because that, you know, if I see people post that, I automatically think they're a spammer. If I don't feel like that's something that was unique to me, I just automatically think they're in it for their own personal gain, and that's a big turnoff. So make sure you do provide value. Okay, so I want to talk about the suggested friends list on Facebook. You guys have probably all seen that. This is my suggested friends list that I just did a screenshot from tonight. So it comes up as people you may know. So I don't want you guys to be afraid to just go ahead and friend these people. If you feel a little weird in doing that, come up with a reason why you're friending them or a connection. Something like, okay, so Wendy up there, I know she's a teacher. I know Stacy's a friend that we have in common. So, you know, honestly, off the top of my head, I can't think of a reason why I would friend her right now. But let's say a mutual friend came up and they had like a photo of them with their running gear on and a medal around their neck. And I noticed we had some common friends that were not Beachbody coaches. I would probably friend them because I'm thinking of doing a free running group. And so what I would do is I would say, like, let's say Wendy up there had a picture like I'm describing, like she looked like a runner. I would probably friend her and I would say, hey, Wendy, I noticed we have lots of friends in common. I'm thinking about starting a free running group. I don't know if you would be interested, but I would love to have you. You know, something like that makes it very non-threatening. I'm doing something that would provide value for them without asking for anything in return. So you might want to start thinking along those lines. Like, can you approach people about a free group that might be in your niche? Might not be running. It might be, you know, maybe you're thinking about doing a crockpot group. We know those go over very well. Like, okay, this girl, Holly, you know, obviously she's got a young child with her. So maybe you might want to friend her and say, hey, we've got this friend Christy in common. Looks like you've got little kids. I'm doing this crockpot group. I'd love to have you. That kind of thing. You know, it's not very creepy when you do that, in my opinion. I also friend people and just kind of let it ride. You know, like I will tell you, I don't reach out to people. I don't cold invite a whole lot. The only time I would probably cold invite is if it were a free group where I wasn't asking for something in return. Because if I like jump to the sale right away, that would make me feel way too salesy and kind of creepy. So don't be creepy. You want to form them, which if you're new to that phrase, we talk about it a lot with coaching, but form stands for family, occupation, relationships, or recreation, and then you can deliver your message. So you want to find out about them. You want to find out, about their family, what they do for fun, and then you can deliver your message, and then it does not seem creepy. I don't want you guys to feel that way at all. So anyway, yeah, don't be creepy. That's my message there. So free groups, I kind of touched on that a little bit with the Crock-Pot group. This was huge for me to connect with new people, you guys. So what I did is I set up a Facebook event page for my Crock-Pot group. And one of the things I did, which is like the little screenshot here, I asked them to friend me because I was getting a lot of requests to join the group from friends of friends. And then I had like a few different posts where I would say, if you invite 5 friends, I'll put your name in a drawing for free Shakeology. And I got tons and tons of response with that. And I didn't count up the number of friends that I got from that, but I got a lot of, there's like 361 people in that group. And most of them I don't know personally. So these are all people that I can start forming. I know a lot of them are runners because one of the girls that actually won is one of my runner friends, and she referred a bunch of friends. And so my hope with that is just to funnel them, keep moving them down the marketing funnel from a free group to a longer group where they can actually continue their health and fitness journey. And then if they do decide to make me their coach, that would be awesome. So I use these free groups not only for referrals, but to build relationships too.
Hey, Kim, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah, go ahead, Lisa.
Can you go back to that slide again for a second? So
the Crock-Pot one?
Yep, that's fine. So when I've done something like that, how do you necessarily know? I know when you have to write down who liked it, but how many times when they refer like 5 friends, like how do you know that they referred 5? Do you have them tag you in that? Like how do you do that?
Well, okay, I have them comment below. I say refer 5 friends and then comment below when you've done this.
Okay, so it's just on an honor system?
No, you can actually go into your event page and see the members, and you can see who added them.
Oh, okay, so you did it that way. Okay. I'm thinking like your like page that you told them.
Yeah, this particular slide is my event page that I did like leading up to that Crock-Pot group. So
I got you.
Elizabeth Gonerman is my running friend that I've been forming her since June, you guys. Actually, it was May. And I don't know why I don't just ask her to join my team, but she's just one of those people that I like hanging out with anyway. And she's the one that referred like tons of people. She's a runner. And so I'm going to do another running group. I'm going to add her. And then probably if she has success with that, then I'll ask her to do a paid group or be a coach or something like that. But at that point, it won't be weird. It'll be like we're friends already. So, and she's someone I met on Instagram because I followed her through the Grandma's Marathon hashtag. So I'll get to that Instagram in a little bit here, but I just want to let you guys remind you that forming can take a long time. Like, it's not like you're going to add these people and they're going to buy a challenge pack the next week. It's a long process. And, like I see coaches that fail, and I think it's because they're not patient enough with this whole process. And maybe they're not enjoying the process as it goes along. But, I love meeting people. I love meeting new friends online. And honestly, I can say I don't really care if they buy a challenge pack or not. I put it out there. But for me, that the value of having a friend or a new contact is so much more than making a sale. So I kind of want you guys to think that way too. If you're going into it just to make a sale, then you're probably targeting the wrong people. That's why I want you to target the people that you want to hang out with, right? Because like if all you see is a sale, if they're not interesting to you and cool people, then you're not going to want to hang out with them. And you guys are on this call because you're cool people, because we're on the same team. So does that answer your question, Lisa? Okay, she must have muted herself. Okay, so I'm going to go on to Facebook ads.
Thank you. Sorry.
Okay, cool. So this is something you can do with your like pages. And I am starting to learn more about this. I'm doing the Jesse Regan training, which you guys, you probably heard me talk about it a little bit already, but I'm kind of realizing a lot of what he talks about I was already doing. And my number one targeted ad, you guys, is for my Aldi meal plan. And it's crazy because I have the Aldi meal plan is targeted to people that like Aldi, women that like Aldi in a certain age bracket. And I can't remember how I defined it, maybe like 30 to 50, because that's generally, or maybe like 35 to 55, because that's kind of my age demographic. And I pay like 3 cents a click for that. It goes back to my blog, but you don't have to link it to a blog. You could simply target it to people that, you know, just want to see it. They don't have to, it doesn't have to be a click thing, but that's relatively cheap interaction. So if they like it, if they like my post, you know, like it or comment on it, then I will invite them to my like page, because a lot of people that are seeing these ads are not already, they haven't connected with my like page. They've liked the post, but I haven't invited them to like my page. So I get probably 100 new people a week through that. And I don't go ahead and contact them out of the blue, but hopefully, you know, they will start engaging with my page. If they like it, that's the first step. Then maybe they'll see something and they'll start commenting. With that Aldi ad, I am going to be brainstorming some type of group that will really connect with those people. The Aldi market, they're into frugality, saving money, quick and easy. So I'll probably reach out to all the people that have liked that post and, you know, kind of just put it out there that I'm doing a free group or a low cost group and kind of work them down the funnel that way. So what I like about these ads is you can be very specific. You can gear them towards your niche market. For example, if I do a free running group, I can target that free running group to people that also like Grandma's Marathon or the Mankato Marathon. So those people will see that ad and perhaps want to join my group. So I love it because it does let you reach new audiences that don't already like your page. Instagram. Okay. I don't have, like, I know a lot of the younger coaches have a great success rate with Instagram. It's great for like those fitness selfies and, you know, people that are like hardcore bodybuilders. I see those people all the time on Instagram. I haven't quite found my niche with that. So I'm going to preface these tips with that information. It's not my number one referral source, but what I do know about it is you can definitely use it to engage with other people. You have to get really specific with your hashtags. Don't use ones that are too common, like hashtag fitness. You know, you're gonna be flooded with hashtags with that. So you want ones that are really, really specific. You know, like when you're entering your hashtags on Instagram, it will tell you like how many of those hashtags exist. So I try to find ones that are less than 20,000. I figure that's a good number. It's enough to gain traction, but not so many that they're like millions of people using it. And always engage, you know, don't just broadcast. If people comment or like your stuff, that's an opportunity for you to start a conversation with them. And also, another commonly made mistake by coaches is using Beachbody hashtags. If you start hashtagging your stuff, Shakeology, 21 Day Fix, etc., the only people you will attract is other coaches, and that is not your target market. So think outside of the box. Think of your target market when you create hashtags and be unique with that. So, okay, you've got these prospects coming in. So how do you start connecting with them? Like I've said, it is a long, long process. So you have to be patient. You have to demonstrate to them that you actually care about them. You have to become their friend, you guys. This is all about making friends. It really is. And that's kind of the cool thing about coaching, because even if you don't like build your business overnight, you will start making all these online friends, which is super fun. So I do that. Like, I think of it as making friends. And what I do is I just put myself out there. I share on social media 3 to 5 times a day so that they see what I'm doing. I feel like everybody on earth by now knows I'm a Beachbody coach, not because I've told them and I'm in their face about it, but because I post about it all the time without asking for anything in return. So it's really important to let people know that you're available. Otherwise, they will reach out to somebody else. and this happens a lot. This happened to me when I was a new coach because I didn't post on my personal page. And I had at least a few of my somewhat close friends go with another coach because in all honesty, they probably didn't even know I was a coach. So make sure you put it out there. It doesn't mean that you're shoving it down anyone's throat, but you're simply just sharing your lifestyle. So yeah, you want to engage with people. The people that you are adding from your cold market, what I have done is I set up a list, a specific friends list, and you can do that. You can see like with the screen share here, it's on the left-hand side of your Facebook page, and I just named them prospects. You can name them whatever you want to. I might set up a runner friend one. And what is cool about that is when you want to scroll your news feed, you can click on that list and only those people will come up. So it makes it a lot easier to engage with them. Like scroll through their stuff. That's where you want to ask questions, comment, and really get to know them. So a good little key or rule of thumb is to compliment, comment, and then question. Like, oh, your photos look great. Where did you have them done? We're thinking of doing them ourselves, or something like that. So you want to compliment, leave a little comment, and then ask a question that will, prompt them to actually respond back to you. So it's that question that gets things going into a real conversation as opposed to just a comment. So you want to find commonalities with people. It's all about those common ground, like connecting with people on a level that is either related to your niche or something else that you have in common. And I don't invite right away. Like I said, I do like the soft exposure versus the hard sell thing. So I just put it out there. People know that I'm there. And then when I find that, that there's a group that will help that person, that's when I would invite. And honestly, I only invite when I don't feel creepy. I kind of use that as a rule of thumb. And it takes a while to get there. It takes a while to build their trust and let them know that you're actually interested in them as a person and not as, a Success Club point. So that is all I have. I'm going to stop my screen share and open it up to questions. Okay, so Shani, the prospect list is on the left-hand side. Well, and I just labeled it that. You can label it anything you want to. I will post this in our team page, but you can create friends lists and label them whatever you want to. Like, for example, I've got friends lists of I think Facebook actually auto-generates some of that for you. Like it might have, I think I have one for North Mankato, because that's where I live, and Facebook created a friends list of other people that live in North Mankato. So you can set up these lists. If you just Google it, how do I create a specific friends list on Facebook, you'll find out how to do it. But another reason why that prospect list is so great is I can use that list to invite to my events too. So say I'm going to do a runners group, which I'm going to do. I'm thinking about that. Then I will go through and maybe create a list just for my runner friends. And that way I can just bulk invite all those people to that running group if I decide to do that. So that's one strategy that I use. So anybody have any questions? Everyone's so quiet tonight. I hope you guys learned something. All right. Well, if nobody has any questions, I can go ahead and end the call, but I do have more time. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about other than, branching out of your warm market? Anyone want to talk about how the health bet is going or anything like that?
I got a quick question for you.
It's okay, go ahead, Lisa.
I can always keep the conversation going.
Yes, you're good at that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're drinking water tonight. You okay?
Yeah, I'm doing a 3-day refresh.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
You have your wine on day 4. I got you.
That's right.
Are you using Teamzy?
I am, but
do you like?
I don't. The thing is, I think it would have been great for me a year ago, but now I have a hard time keeping up with the people that are messaging me and logging them into Teamsy at the same time. I do think it's great for new coaches, and I highly recommend it. I've had some of my best months when I've used Teamsy religiously, and I should get back to doing it, because I think the best thing about it is the follow-up, because you have to always follow up with people, and that's something that I often forget to do. But it's whatever works for you. I've heard of like Streak working really well, Asana, like even just like pen and paper. This is my prospective coach list. I have my book right here. And for some reason, like, I don't know if you guys see that, but yeah, like for me, pen and paper works best for my prospective coaches. Like my challengers that I think would be great coaches, I put their names on there. People that haven't done a challenge group yet that I think would be great, their names are on there. So those are all people I'm forming. Okay. It just really depends on what works for you. I do recommend Teamsy, but to be completely honest with you, I'm not very good about using it all the time.
Right. Well, yeah, that's just me and my normal everyday work. I'm like half paper and then half organized on the computer, and I'm on the computer so much. I just want to run away from a computer and just use my notebook and pen.
I love notebooks. I have a thing about notebooks too.
I have a fetish with notebooks.
I do too. And here's my other one. Like, like my to-do list, and I cross off, and I just love that.
It's rewarding when you get to cross something off on a computer, and you look like you've done nothing the whole day.
I know. Have you ever like added stuff to your list just so you can cross it off?
I do. I already did it. Like wake up.
I know, right?
Yeah. I know everyone's been there, right? Okay, I can see their facial expressions. So like,
that's funny.
Anyways, all right. So that was one of my questions I had.
Okay.
So, and then also lastly, is it legit where on our like free groups that we're having? So it's nice because I boosted a post and I got a whole bunch of people, and I think I have 2 challenge packs probably sold hopefully this month instead of next month, because they want 21-day fix. I said I can't promise it's going to be on sale next month. Like I don't know. So, but I'm taking a look at my list right now of how many people said that they want to go to the event, but they're not my friend. So I sent them personal invites to say, hey, I hereby add you to the group. Thanks for your interest. But because of Facebook, like we have to friend each other, and then that way we can do it. It sucks that you have to friend somebody.
Yeah. Well, and one thing I have on my event page, like in the description, is you have to friend me in order for me to add you to the group. And so
I think I read that, so I'm gonna go back and snag that piece because
so if you go into my Crock-Pot event page, you'll see that or even like I think my regular group is set up that way too. And another thing I want to tell you guys, I think I forgot to mention, try not to friend a lot of coaches that you don't know. Because in the beginning, I was accepting friend requests from every single coach, like on all these different teams. And now my friend list is flooded with coaches I don't know. And then
unfriend them.
Well, I probably will when I get to that,
They won't notice.
That's true. But the problem with that is then the only people that come up in my suggested friends list are other coaches, and I'm like, that's not who I want to connect with. So I only friend coaches that are on my team or that I know in person. That's kind of my guideline right now. Or like if it's someone I'm really working closely with in like a mentorship group or something like that. But yeah, don't friend a lot of coaches.
I sort of send them to if you want to go to my like page. Like if you want to follow me for real, go there. Don't go to my personal page.
That's a good way to do it. Yep. Yeah. Anyone else have questions? What do you guys think about like groups for October? Does anyone have any suggestions or ideas, or are you thinking along the lines of like your niche and maybe doing a niche group just for your own target? Like an example would be a running group for me because I'm doing this half marathon. So are you guys really think about that? Like who do you want to reach? I mean, I see like a lot of coaches that are really into religion and spirituality doing like faith-based groups. It could be, busy parenting groups. It could be, it really doesn't matter what it is, but those free groups really do attract your market. So
I started a whole teacher group of adding all my teachers that I've gained over the years of teaching.
Yeah.
And so I have like 160 something teachers in there. So I want to tell them to add more teachers in there, but I'm stuck on what to post every day in that group. I don't know why.
Here's another thing. Maybe you just want to name it something like, I don't know. I'm not a teacher, so I can't think of anything.
Well, I named it. It's called Fit Teachers PLC.
Okay, cool.
PLC is a public learning, like communities, right? So what happened is they love it because that's their terminology that they use.
Oh, perfect.
So they're all in there, but I'm trying to think of what to post in there every day, just for something that's good.
Have you done a poll?
Yeah, maybe I can do a poll and see what they like.
Yeah, definitely.
What do they want me to post about?
Yeah, just ask them. Or like look at the posts that have gotten the most engagement already and do more of that. Or maybe like tag some people that are really involved with the group and say, hey, you know, I'm kind of stale. Can you help me out here and think of something to post on Wednesday? You know, that's a great way to kind of get people into the mode of thinking as a coach too, or a challenger. You know, especially if you're gonna be gone. Hey, can you help me out? I'm gonna be gone. Can you just think of something to post? That's all you do.
All right, then Shani also said time saver techniques, which is cool.
Oh yeah.
So I have some hangups on trying to do a group by myself because I don't have very many people that are following me or that are engaged with what I'm doing. And I feel that if I only have a handful of people in a group and they don't see a lot of interaction, that it's not going to go very far versus having myself connected with another coach or two that's doing it and we have more people and they see that they're not the only ones that are here and there's strength in numbers.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you can do it both ways. You don't have to do it by yourself either. But I would do the event page by yourself because you want to keep those prospects separate. But say you find another coach that wants to do something that interests both of you, then pool your resources and start the actual group together, whatever that might be. Or, I mean, there's so many coaching groups out there outside of just our own little team that it probably wouldn't be hard to find several coaches that want to do something similar. You know, like if you guys aren't in Melanie's dream team group or dream, she's dream. I was getting mixed up. Dream team, dream big. Melanie's dream team. There's 5,000 coaches in that group. So ask the question, does anyone, like for me, I would be like, who wants to do this, you know, couch to 5K, or who wants to do a half marathon training group with me? And you'll have tons of people respond. So and that's a great way to find a success partner too. You know, like people reach outside of our own little coaching community because you'll find that they do things differently. You might get some wonderful ideas, and then you can conversely, you can share your ideas with them. So definitely think beyond the box and reach out to other coaches. I think my husband's burning something. Smells like a grease fire. If you guys hear the fire alarm go off soon, it's not me. Okay, Kieran's in the same boat. Yeah, like just think along the lines of your niche, and it doesn't have to be super highly targeted. Like the Crock-Pot group is great for busy parents. It's great for teachers. It's great for, you know, it's still kind of a niche group, but it applies to a lot of people. So it doesn't have to be super specific, but I don't know. I don't know why that Crock-Pot group was just super popular. Clean eating groups are popular. Sugar detox group has done well for me in the past. Anything to do with like belly fat, which is why I'm going to do that one again before Core de Force. I did a butt group once, and I only had like maybe 15, 20 people in it, but I think it converted to like 4 challenge pack sales, which is a really good ratio. So you don't have to have a super big group to, you know, make something of it. I think it all comes down to engagement and just helping people. Sometimes those big groups are really hard to stay on top of. think.
Kim, can I just ask a quick question?
Of course. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just taking notes before, and I missed, you had 3 requirements for your event group for the crock pot.
Yeah.
I got the first one and I got the last one. I missed what number 2 was.
Okay, let me go scroll back.
Sorry.
No, you're good. And I have recorded this so you guys can watch it back again, but I'm just gonna, okay. So, one was that they like my like page on Facebook, and I provided a link there. The next one was that they friended me. And then the third one was to invite a friend or 2 to join us. And then at the bottom, I had the disclaimer, this group is entirely free. I just ask that you are not already working with another online health and fitness coach. And I didn't even put Beachbody in there because I didn't want it to be Beachbody branded. But most people know, if they've done a Beachbody program, they know what I mean. So yeah, like and for that, I didn't require that they sign up or list me as their free coach. Sometimes I've required that to be in certain groups, but I just wanted to see how it would work this time. And what I liked I've heard about this tip on another call from another coach, but she suggested just when you do those free niche groups, keep them open. Because then if you do that group again down the road in 3 to 4 months, you keep adding people to it. And then the same people that were in it before will see those old posts pop up again. They'll see that the group is active again. And I definitely saw that happen with this group this time. I had people coming out of the woodwork that I hadn't really personally invited, but they were there engaging in it because they had been in it before. And that is another advantage to doing these groups on your own. I mean, you guys can do it any way you want to, but like if you are doing it with other coaches, then it does get a little bit tricky in that how are you like separating your prospects?
Yeah. Because Christine Homeward and I were going to do one together next month, and we're kind of like just like shadowing Nicole at the moment just to see how she runs hers. And we were kind of like, how are we going to do this, and how are we going to differentiate between your people and my people? And then at that point, when it's over, how do we split that?
Right. It does get a little tricky. And I know Nicole and I have run groups together for a long, long time. And now she's doing a lot on her own because she's built her business. But what gets tricky is a lot of our challengers that have been in both of our groups for all, last year or so since Nicole's been a coach, the lines become blurred. I'm like, oh, was that your challenger or mine? Because they're in our groups. And like, if it's from our cold market, sometimes we have to reach out to each other and say, is this your person? Is this my person? Because they're both our friends, Right. And sometimes I actually have to look it up. I'm like, oh, is that person on my customer list? So it does, you just want to try to avoid confusion, but nobody is out to poach other customers from anyone else on our team anyway. So all you have to do is just ask that other coach too, if those lines, like with Christine, if those lines end up getting blurred, then just ask, whose person is this? Right.
No, and we've done that in the past before too, and it's never been an issue of, it being, heartfelt feelings or whatever. So that's not an issue. But okay, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody else? Last call. Oh, and next week, you guys, I will be in Florida. Yay. So no team call next week, but I hope that we do like some sort of live call from Destin, and it'll probably be like part of the coaching sneak peek or something like that. So really focus on inviting to that group. If you missed the beginning part of that call, that's kind of what I talked about is you don't have to be going to Destin to be in that sneak peek to like see what we're all doing. Hopefully you guys will get fired up to get diamonds so you can come next year. I'm super excited about it, and I'm already like thinking of ideas that we can do for our team. Hopefully we'll have our own retreat next year.
We'll get ready because it's sweltering down here still.
Is it?
Yes.
I'm okay with, there's going to be a nice pool, so I'll be okay with that. Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Kim, we can all go to the Outer Banks. How about that? That's nice and close to my house.
Yeah, I'm up for anything. That was
right in the middle. Not too hot, not too cold.
Sweet. Yeah, no, that sounds great. I've got all sorts of ideas. I might actually do, this is really, really crazy, you guys, but I might invite you guys all to Minneapolis in the dead of the winter and do something fun at the Mall of America.
Where the heck is Minneapolis? Is that
what?
I'm so joking.
Cold.
Well, it's about time you find out, girlfriend.
Like, there's life outside of the East Coast? Hold on a minute. Do you have beaches there?
We have lakes, beautiful lake beaches, but they'll be frozen when I'm thinking of doing something. But no, the Mall of America would be really cool. And there's a bunch of hotels that are actually attached to the mall. So I've got
pretty cool.
Some kind of fun team building activities that would be fun there. And it's a relatively easy flight. Like that would be obviously like a consideration. I don't want you guys to have to spend a lot on a flight. That was one thing that I think detracted a lot of people from going to Destin is just the, connections and the cost of getting into that tiny little airport. Minneapolis is a hub for a lot of airlines, so that wouldn't be an issue. So anyway, thinking about that.
You have snow tube in there?
Oh yeah.
Well, that would be fun.
Well, that was
that athletic just have to sit in a tube.
But I was thinking more of like, okay, Minneapolis in the winter would be fun. We could go to Mall of America. We could go to Water Park of America. And like all these indoor activities are super fun. But if you want to go tubing, we can do that. We could go skiing, whatever. Go ice skating.
An accident prone to happen.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to log off now. I'm going to go watch TV with my husband, chill a little bit. So I hope you guys all have a great weekend.
All right, thanks, you too.
Thank you.
Post them in the group. That's another thing. Sorry, I can't stop talking. But I want you guys to feel comfortable to ask questions in the group because every time you do, it lets another coach know that it's okay to ask questions. And if you have a question, they're probably wondering the same thing. So that's just my little spiel on that. And next week, I probably won't be around online as much as normal because I'll be in Florida. So hopefully you guys can all help each other out. And another thing too, I forgot to mention this. I'll be doing a Success Club Crunch Time group because I want you guys all to hit Success Club by the end of the month. And I'm also looking for a volunteer that's not going to Florida to help post. So if you feel like you want to step up to the plate, reach out to me privately, okay? Okay, good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.